Thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this screencast. I'd like to introduce you to SearchWP, the best WordPress search plugin you can find. I'd like to outline the installation and integration of SearchWP into an existing website. I'm going to walk you through setting it up on mondaybynoon.com, a website I've been running for a few years now. As it stands, there are nearly 1,000 posts and almost 5,000 comments. It's not a huge amount of content, but it should outline what SearchWP is capable of. As a baseline, we'll perform a search using WordPress's built-in functionality. I've written a few posts on SaaS, and you'll notice that there are about two pages of them. So as per WordPress default, they are pretty much ordered by keyword matching anywhere and ordered by date descending. It gets the job done, but I'd like to see a little bit more relevance in my search results. SearchWP is installed just like any other plugin. We'll use the upload method this time. Once uploaded, we'll go ahead and activate the plugin. And we'll see that SearchWP is already indexing our content. We'll head over to the settings page. And you'll notice that as the index is being built, SearchWP gives us a real-time update of the progress. After installing and activating the plugin, now is a good time to activate the license that was provided when you purchased SearchWP. The license key was provided in your purchase receipt, and you can copy that to the clipboard and paste it in this license key area. Once you hit Save Changes, you'll be able to activate your license. You'll note that the indexer kept running in the background. The indexing process is completely passive, and you don't have to be on this page for it to complete. SearchWP is completely based on keyword weights. But further than that, it's based on actually weighting where the keyword shows up. For instance, titles and slugs for me have a bit more weight, so I'd like to rank my search results a bit differently depending on whether or not the keywords appear in those areas. When it comes to WordPress, there's other areas like the main content area, the various taxonomies you've set up, whether or not you're using comments on the post type, or whether it supports excerpts or not. Beyond that, in my client work, I use a ton of custom fields when I'm setting up new websites for clients, so being able to weight them based on which custom field keywords show up in it is extremely valuable. SearchWP lets us do all of that. For instance, if we disabled the editor in a custom post type and instead stored main content in a custom field, we're able to flag that here. Say it was called type, for instance, for lack of a better example. We could instead weight that 10 if we wanted any keyword matches in this custom field type to be weighted 10 versus another one which happens to be, attachments, which might be less important, so we'll give that a weight of 4. SearchWP will weight keyword matches in separate custom field types differently as per this configuration. This main area labeled Default Search Engine is actually the settings controlling what happens with a default WordPress search when SearchWP is activated. There's no additional configuration or integration necessary with your theme. It will actually just bolt in, and it is a turnkey solution. That said, we'll go ahead and enable media here by checking the checkbox. And we'll note that the indexing is almost done. So we'll go ahead and save our changes. And we can see that indexing is actually complete. So let's go ahead and repeat our search from earlier. This was our search from earlier for SaaS, and you can see that one of the first results is from an aside that I wrote, which happens to be just really short, mostly linked list with some opinion style postings, but it ranks first because it was the most recent post I published that has matching keyword of SaaS. So let's go ahead and repeat that search with SearchWP activated. And you'll notice that now, instead of an aside showing up first, it's actually a fully fledged article. Now, asides still do show up, but based on the keyword weighting I've set up, they're considered less relevant than these full articles. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Going back to the SearchWP configuration, we can see that there's some more advanced settings that we can control based on what we want to show up. We can exclude specific post IDs. We can exclude specific categories, or tags, or even post formats. Search result attribution is something I'd recommend that you check out on the website, as it's a more advanced feature and a bit outside the scope of this introductory screencast. One neat feature that SearchWP offers is the ability to use a keyword stem when searching. By default, SearchWP tries for exact matches for terms. When keyword stemming is enabled, SearchWP will try and find the stem of every keyword in the query, which should generalize the result a bit without compromising relevancy. For example, with keyword stemming enabled, a search for run, runner, or running would all yield the same results. If it was disabled, different results would be shown. Another big feature of SearchWP are what are called supplemental search engines. This is a bit of a wacky concept, but essentially what it lets you do is build additional search engine configurations aside from the default search engine you've just set up. This works great if you'd like to set up a secondary search engine for a particular section of your website. Adding a supplemental search engine is just like controlling the default search engine, except it's got its own name and you need to trigger it programmatically. So for instance, we'll set up a search engine called My Search Engine, and I, for example, just want it to search my pages. So I'm going to go ahead and enable that, and I'm going to keep all the default configuration. We'll go ahead and save the changes, and you'll see that our new search engine is now listed here. You'll need to pay particular attention to the label here, as this is what we'll be using when we actually edit our template file. Integrating a supplemental search engine is pretty easy. I'll take a second to outline what that looks like. I went ahead and added a new template file to 2013 that ships with WordPress. It borrows the main structure, but is going to be pretty simple in nature to outline how easy it is to integrate supplemental search engines from SearchWP. Essentially, it will just include its own search form in the main column, followed by any search results that happen to come up from a submitted search query. We'll start with the search form. You'll see that it's pretty straightforward. It's just got one text field input and a submit button, and it's just set to submit to itself using the get method. In the code, we're checking to see if this input was submitted, and if it was, we're just going to save it to a variable called custom search. We're also saving the original post global to its own original post variable just for the time being because we're going to be looping through that later. The integration with the supplemental search engine is pretty straightforward. Once we check to make sure that we're actually searching for something, we're going to go ahead and instantiate SearchWP. We're going to set the name of our search engine, which is My Search Engine. Again, that was outlined here. The terms are actually going to be set to the submitted get variable that we've already sanitized. And we can control the pagination here. I copied and pasted this from the documentation, so we're just going to comment this out for the time being because we just want the first page for example's sake. To actually perform the search, we're going to pass a few arguments to the search method of the SearchWP object we just instantiated. We're going to pass along the search engine name, the terms we want to search for, and which page it is. Again, we can take this out because we just want the first page for the time being. If you'd like to integrate pagination, you'll just need to keep track of those get variables as well. The search method returns an array of posts, much like a call to get posts. We can check to see if that array is empty, and if it's not, we'll go ahead and output a heading, calling out our search term, and then we're just going to loop through each of those posts as though we called get posts. You can make a call to set up post data of the post and then loop through using all of the template tags you're used to. Once we're done iterating through our custom loop, we're just going to reset our post to the original post and proceed as normal. Setting up a supplemental search engine doesn't involve a reindex or anything like that. It just pulls from the existing index using these specific settings. You can change them at any time, including the weights or the exclusions, and you don't need to reindex at all. The last big feature I'd like to outline is actually this bit right here. The fact that you can actually keyword weight PDF content when it's applicable. When you upload PDFs to WordPress in the media section, SearchWP will automatically try and parse any of the readable text in that file. For instance, I uploaded this test PDF just a minute ago, and you can see this meta box actually has the readable text of that PDF in it. SearchWP can't index content unless it's actually text in the file and the PDF is not encrypted, but this lets you keep tabs on whether or not the proper content is being indexed for your PDF files. If you need to make an edit, you can go ahead and do so, and SearchWP will respect your edits versus indexing it again. SearchWP will try and index all PDF and plain text files that are uploaded to your media section. This is just the beginning of what SearchWP is actually capable of. When you start exploring the possibilities, when you take into account certain custom fields, whether you're working with advanced custom fields, custom field suite, or pods, the possibilities are nearly endless. You're able to customize the search engine per site that you're building so that you're able to maximize relevancy of keyword hits. I really hope you like what SearchWP has to offer, but more importantly, I hope it makes your life as a developer or site owner that much easier. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this screencast.